Hi, everybody. So I hate to start with the bad news, but I have to. That's my job. Since we started this amazing adventure of the Hyperloop, we've had to look at what's happening around the world and what's existence. Now, I have to say that transportation is broken. It starts when you buy your car, right? They sell you an amazing journey. You're out with your car, everything is beautiful, you know, the wind is moving your hair with your girlfriend out, and then you go out of the of the dealer, right? And what do you find? You find a mess. You find cities that are overclogged of cars. And it's everywhere. It's something that it's not only touching India, but it's touching all the nations. I have to admit that what you see here is not the worst thing. There's Jakarta, China, there's everywhere. And if you think, you know, that the cars is a problem, it's probably because you haven't seen what's happening in the undergrounds. This is Beijing in a normal day. You see these people are trying to exit from the underground, and they are literally pushed out. It's happening in Russia. This is last week in Russia. They're trying to enter in the underground. It's over and over. Even in London, it's the most advanced, they say, underground. It's broken by definition, how they did it. Well, I have to admit something. In Japan, they solved it. They have these people that push in inside, they push people inside the car, and it's not a way to solve it. You know Bangladesh, you know what's happening there, but it's, you know, in every transportation system that you see, it seems like it's broken by design. And why? Because we haven't thought it through. We haven't thought about, you know, solving one problem, but then we create another 10. This is the mother of all traffic jams. They've been stuck in traffic for 11 days. It was China National Day. I don't even want to know where they were going to the bathroom, but it's you know, this is Beijing, a very good day, because Beijing in a bad day looks like this. You just run over him. But if we think it's funny, you have to think about our systems, our design. The high-speed rail, for example, you know, we already reached the limit. Above 470 kilometers per hour, the air becomes basically a wall of water, and we cannot accelerate anymore, and we use too much energy. These systems are too expensive, and they never recoup the money we invest. If you look at all the systems, they're all subsidized. They need constant injection of money from our tax. And I don't want to go into GST discussion, but you know that this is not the problem. The problem starts at the beginning. You know, we need to spend all this money to maintain these infrastructures, and then these kind of taxes come out. At the airport, everything seems to know where you're going, except your luggage. And you're stuck there looking at the carousel, and it's maybe properly delivered in Botswana or somewhere. And it's why they're doing this. 70% of the operation we do at the airport, you actually can do it even before you arrive there. But they're fixing it. Yeah, because now they can resell your luggage, your lost luggage, at 70% of discount. There are now 50 shops around America. What does it mean? It means they don't want to change it. It's a system that has been conceived to fail. Let's say I'm looking for a girl. I'm single, okay? I am a Bibop. I'm 29, kind of. Who's laughing? Out. I am a world changer, smart, good looking, and very, very humble, okay? And I'm looking for a girl. You know, Sonam, she's a little bit old, 32. No, I'm joking, girls. I'm not old at 32. Smart, good looking, and romantic, right? It's love at first sight. Well, if she's living in Gurgaon and I am in New Delhi, I'm not going to date her. we are choosing who to love based on traffic. And it seems funny, but it's not. You know, it's impacting our life in a so deep level. If I would tell you, tomorrow is the last day of your life, you would be pissed, you would be disappointed. You start to think about all the things that you have not been able to achieve, thinking about your families, you know, enjoying every single minute of the last day of your life. Because your time is important, right? Well, if you live in one of these cities, you live in 1, 2, 3 years less than was expected. And we are becoming numb. It's normal. It's normal to be bump to bump every day, 10 minutes there, half an hour there, 1 hour there, and they're stealing our life. I think our life is the most important thing because the time that we have in this earth has to be meaningful. And it should have a better way. Imagine to be able to go from New Delhi to Agra, instead of using 3 hours and 10 minutes, in 16 minutes. How about that? It'd be amazing, right? And we're thinking about something that is doable right now. Started in 1861, the first model of what we are going to build was developed by Thomas Webster Remmel. He was an inventor. He tried to build a little sarcophagus, and he was imagining to pushing it with the steam engine. It aborted because it wasn't that comfortable. But 3 years later, he built something bigger. It was 35 people. And actually, this one ran for a while, but it's been aborted because it was using too much steam engine and it didn't work out. In 1969, one genius inventor, Eli Beach, built almost a kilometer under what it will be called New York subway. So that's the beginning of the New York subway. It ran for 7 years, and then the rail industry that was just born thought it was a threat and aborted. But in '69, he was actually able to build an entire line. It was working. So it was a system that actually could have had a great history. In 1909, the inventor of the rocket science, Robert Goddard, patented a solution that was very similar to the Hyperloop. He was dreaming to go at 250 miles per hour, and that was a problem. Why? Because the entire scientific community said human cannot travel above 100 kilometers per hour. So I'm sorry, you can't build this. So over and over, we have seen humanity trying to actually build this. And for one reason or another, there was always a good reason to abort that. In 2013, when Elon Musk published a white paper, he didn't really invent it. He just pointed a giant spotlight on this amazing possibility. But he was too busy with SpaceX, Tesla, and SolarCity that he said, you know, I can't do it, but whoever wants to do it, I will be very supportive. My crazy business partner thought it was a great idea to take this white paper and publish it in our Jumpstart website. And that's where everything began. Now, how many of you doesn't know what the Hyperloop is? Please raise your hand. Don't be shy. We're among friends. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, security, remove these people from the audience. What's happening? Where have you been? I will show you a video for that.
In 2013, Elon Musk
No.
published his
The audio
vision.
has to be up. Thank you. Once again.
In 2013, Elon Musk published his vision for a sustainable, rapid mass transit system called Hyperloop.
I have a name for it, which is called the Hyperloop.
Busy with his other ventures at Tesla and SpaceX, Musk issued a rallying cry to the best and the brightest.
There are some companies that are forming to try to make the Hyperloop happen. I encourage them. I think that's great. I'm super focused on Tesla and SpaceX, and to a small amount on SolarCity. So that basically completely uses up my brain.
So what's Hyperloop? Kind of like a Jetsons tunnel?
It's something like that, yeah.
Imagine a capsule filled with people.
You put this capsule inside the tube,
You create a low-pressure environment inside this tube,
so you have no resistance.
and it's moving very fast from point A to point B.
So the capsule, very similar to an airplane, that goes in high altitudes can travel really fast with very little energy.
Is the main trick to it the vacuum and the fact that there's no friction? Is that the main reason why it makes it so fast?
Tesla founder Elon Musk proposed this new technology called Hyperloop, and it's being developed right now in Playa Vista, here in this hangar behind me.
So when Elon published the document, he just drafted a possible way to achieve this. 2 months later, my business partner, Dirk Alborn, a genius German entrepreneur, took this document, published in our website, Jumpstart Found, and did a call to action.
There was a great project, a great idea, and Elon actually said he wanted someone else to take it on. He wanted a community to make this happen.
It's the first company that used crowdsourcing to solve one of the biggest problems of humanity, that is transportation. They have to work at least 10 hours a week, and we give them in exchange 1 stock for every hour worked. And we have been like overwhelmed of requests from engineers from all over the planet. There were people from, NASA, Tesla, SpaceX, Boeing, MIT.
We want to give our community that's supporting us a possibility to own parts of the company.
So we are creating the biggest crowdsourcing project in the planet.
Big headline of the day, Hyperloop's Chief Operating Officer Bibop Gresta, the transportation technology startup, believes that the Hyperloop will be cheaper than high-speed rail in the country. Take a look.
Be turning our back on all of this and looking at a totally different technology. Dirk Alborn says yes. Hyperloop, transportation technology CEO. Dirk, we thought of you right away.
The business model that we developed is not based on tickets only. Tickets can be used as a way to regulate traffic. There are so many new ways to monetize users. We are able today to announce at the World Economic Forum the actual filing of the construction permit to the Kings County.
From dream to reality, the Hyperloop, the vacuum tube transport company that wants to connect San Francisco and Los Angeles at 760 miles an hour, could happen in as little as 4 years. Bibop Gresta is Hyperloop Transportation Technology COO and Deputy Chairman. He joins me out here today. It's good to see you, Bibop.
Thank you, Kelly.
And I'm learning a lot about the Hyperloop being out here.
Can you imagine and walk us through what it might be like to travel at the speed of sound?
It's not going to be much different than sitting in an airplane, actually.
In railroads, most accidents were all human factors. Plus, a lot of the derailments are actually happened because something's on the track. So we're in a closed system. We're completely managed by a computer system.
Will the Hyperloop kill the railroad?
The Hyperloop is going to do to the US what the railroads did in the 1800s. It will change the way we live. It's possible today. It's based on existing technologies.
Is it visionary? In 30 years' time, will you and I be sitting on our rocking chairs going, well, we talked about it then, and he did it?
Traveling by Hyperloop is going to be the future. They're making it.
Okay, so more clear now, a little bit? Okay, thank you. So, how many of you doesn't think Hyperloop will be doable? Please raise your hand. One of you still don't think about it. Okay, I will try to convince you. Okay, first thing you have to understand about the Hyperloop. Wow, I wasn't expecting that. That is created by using existing technologies. So it's not that complicated to build an Hyperloop. I know that it's a big assumption, but if you compose the single elements, it's not that complicated. Let's start to analyze how are we building it. The first element that you have to understand between a rail and a Hyperloop. The rail is very inefficient. It sucks. Wait. Sorry. It sucks. Why? Because you have to electrify miles of rail. You have to put a lot of things like electrifications. If you are building an high-speed rail, you also have to bring it to superconductivity. Means you need a lot of energy, okay? And this result in inefficiency. And what does it mean? That we have to maintain it with subsidies because there's no ticket that can actually repay neither the building or the maintenance. The Hyperloop is a completely different system. You have a tube, you put this capsule inside the tube, you suck out the air, and you levitate it somehow. Now, we discovered while we were developing this system that the only real tough challenge that we've had is the levitation, because all the system right now that exists in the planet has a very inefficient way to levitate things. They use electricity. But we found a way to levitate it, and it was already built inside a lab. It's called Lawrence Livermore Lab. And this problem has been solved in '95 through an amazing professor, Richard Post.
Using magnets to move and elevate trains is not a new thing. But this method hasn't been efficient enough to make sense on a large scale. The primary reason? Simple. A vast amount of energy is required to power the system. 20 years ago, a team of engineers from Lawrence Livermore Labs began the work that would solve those problems. For more than 2 decades, they've researched a full-scale functioning prototype. And in that time, they discovered how to arrange magnets over an aluminum track in such a way that the track uses almost no power, making it much more efficient. At Hyperloop, we've picked up where they left off, adapting that revolutionary system for commercial use. There are several ways in which our system, using passive magnetic levitation, is safer and more efficient than maglev technology currently in use. Let's start with efficiency. Regenerative braking during deceleration recovers much of the energy used for acceleration. Power stations are not required along our track, making our system more affordable to build than previous levitation systems. Let's talk about safety. Only when the pod slows and returns to a safe speed will it gently touch down on the track once again. A comfortable, natural occurrence with our magnetic levitation system. At a slow, comfortable speed, the capsule rises up from the track. This levitation remains steady and constant through the duration of the journey. We find the smartest technologies and look for ways to improve them. You'll find this approach repeated over and over within every aspect of HTT innovation.
Passive magnetic levitation. It will revolutionize the way we conceive transportation, not only in the Hyperloop. Imagine to be able to levitate cars or other way of transportation without the need of electricity. This is amazing because it's a future where we can actually just move these objects with a really tiny amount of energy. And we found it was developed with the track, with the entire track, 1 kilometer from the Lawrence Livermore Lab and General Atomics. Now, the other aspects that we need to consider when we develop an Hyperloop is, of course, the efficiency. Hyperloop is not about speed. Speed is a nice consequences. It's efficiency, the real key to actually develop the new transportation system of the future. And by meaning efficiency, we actually developed a series of technologies to actually make the capsule use 1/10 of the energy. And now we are very proud to announce that we start the construction of the first full-scale capsule using a Tier 2 manufacturer of Airbus. Again, the technology to build the components were already there. Why do we have to reinvent how to build an airframe? We asked to people that knows how to do it actually to build the first one. Do you have a video? We don't have a video? Here we go.
Our dream of creating the next breakthrough in transportation takes a big step forward today.
Carburis is a consolidated leader in the structural composites world with over 15 years of experience in developing and manufacturing structural composites. With over 1,000 employees, 8 manufacturing plants and 5 engineering centers, it is the perfect partner for HTT to capitalize on this knowledge and become one of our great partners.
This is a fascinating project for us, and we will show our expertise, our technology around the world.
Using passive magnetic levitation and a low-pressure tube, we are building a safer, more efficient way to move people forward. And now, 3 years later, after countless designs and thousands of hours, we're turning our dream into reality. We're building the first full-scale passenger Hyperloop capsule in the world.
inside this capsule is like a size of an airplane. It's basically a comfortable and similar to a journey of an airplane without the problem of an airplane. Now, when I talk about efficiency, I talk about being able to combine a series of renewable energy, and when I say renewable energy, I mean solar, wind, kinetic energy, because the capsule that moves generates electricity, regenerative braking, because the capsule that stops actually can generate electricity, and also in climates where solar panels are not efficient, we use geothermal. The combination of this technology allows you to produce up to 30% more energy than we consume. And it's also applicable for transport of freight and cargo. So imagine how our world can change when we can transport efficiently and safely the passenger and freight at a reduced cost. We cost less than a metro or a high-speed rail. But also in efficiency, the efficiency can actually be benefiting on the maintenance part. Because not using electricity by moving the capsule allows you to save a lot of money. Now, we are actually designing a frictionless station. Everything can be done using data mining and by conceiving a system that can depart every 40 seconds. We can also, depending on the speed profile, speed up this system. It means loading a capsule in 7 minutes and then departing it every 30 seconds. You can have a throughput of 164,000 people a day with one tube. Imagine that between Los Angeles and San Francisco, there are 7.8 million people traveling each year. We can substitute the entire flight industry between Los Angeles and San Francisco 4 times with one tube. But we can also design the system to scale up. This is a Chinese project where we are building it under an highway. This is another project where we are building it on top of a rail. And this is how we scale up. It's like a Lego. Imagine that you can add the tube up to 7. In a complete system like this, you can have up to 600 million people a year. So I know in India, you're growing a lot, right? You're doing a lot of babies. It's not a problem. We have a system to actually transport it in the future. And we are also sustainable. We look at designs that actually can be embedded and be part of the environment. Because we don't have to actually continuously build a giant architectonic barrier like the rails, for example. The stations are completely frictionless. And we are analyzing how to actually enhance the user experience by actually benefiting of a limit of a human eye. Inside the capsule, we can't have windows, but we can have something better. High-definition screen that can simulate reality. What does it mean? It means that you can look out and you can see a slow version of reality, or maybe something else. By using motion capturing, the system can actually reposition the windows as soon as you move your head. And this is basically reality. Where do you want to go? You want to go to Paris? You want to go to the time of the Maharajas? We can bring you there. We can bring you to the future. But this is not only a new way to transport people. It's a new generation of transportation systems that doesn't require a ticket. Because with this system, you can actually monetize users in a different way. And we discovered something very weird. Young people doesn't like to pay. It's weird, trust me. And we can foresee a system that it's maybe equalizing the differences between rich and poor, because we can actually give these systems in the future for very tiny or no cost, because the solar panels are going up and the cost of the panel are going down. There's a moment, a great breaking point, where the money that you can do through the renewable energy are superior of the money that you're spending. Now, a lot of people ask me, okay, but you're in a capsule, you're going at the speed of sound, my God, you will die, right? Well, first of all, the G-force that you hear about, you're going at 1G, that's not a force. This is a measure of acceleration. If you accelerate slow enough, you can actually go at incredible speed without feeling it. Now, to demonstrate what I'm saying, I show you what my team did to me to show me G-force. Whoa! So I'm inside the Hyperloop simulator. It's near Pennsylvania, and now they are pushing me at 3G. There was a slightly sadistic person in the other side. But as you see, I'm at 2.3x and 1.3 lateral. We can go up to 5G without really having a problem. It depends always at the time, at how long are you doing this. So imagine in case of emergency, in a normal way, you are accelerating an acceleration below 1G. So very, as my team like to say, it's very boring. And I like that. Hyperloop has to be boring in that sense. You don't feel it. But in case of emergency, we have to stop at 6.4 seconds, having a deceleration of 5G. It's like a roller coaster. You feel it, but we will save your life. And then, in case of extreme emergency, we seal the section of the tube that had the problem. We open the valves, and the pressure, because 1 bar and 1 Pascal inside the tube will create a difference of pressure, and the air will become breathable again. And you can actually exit from the emergency exit that are present on the pylons. So it's like having an airplane without the risk of an airplane. And it's intermodal. So you can actually take an Hyperloop and you will be connected with the underground and the other system of transportation. Now, the things that makes me more proud of is how we did it. So aside of me and my business partner, there has been an amazing, incredible amount of people that wanted to change. They wanted to contribute. And now our model of actually giving stocks in exchange of work created the biggest project, crowdsourcing project in the world. We have 35 people full-time, but we have 890 people from 42 countries contributing, with 7 centers open and 5 more in opening in the next few months. Now, I say this because it's very important to understand something. It's not about money. This project demonstrated, and when you put the best minds in the planet to solve one problem, we can actually make it happen. And this can be used to solve all the problems: food, energy, housing. We have the technology to actually do that. And we hope that we are the template to generate a new generation of companies that actually do it. So please go out there, put together your team, and do it. If you see what we have done, we put together the more than 3 centuries of experience in transportation if you sum the amount of scientists that we have. And I have good news. It's happening right now. We are in negotiation with 20 countries. We are now 7 deals closed with 7 countries. We are creating a lot of value, patents, inventions. We have 40 top countries on board. We're going to announce an amazing project here in India. I receive a lot this question: when the Hyperloop is going to happen in India, right? Well, let me tell you what's happening recently. You've seen probably that I've been back and forth several times here in India. After the announcement of Quay Valley, we signed Bratislava, an amazing project there. Brno, to connect the first 2 capitals in Europe. Toulouse, they gave us an amazing center inside Francazan Airport and 1.5 kilometers to build the prototype. Jakarta, a big feasibility studies. Abu Dhabi, where His Highness Sheikh Falah bin Zayed Al Nahyan actually became our sponsor personally in Abu Dhabi. We just terminated an amazing feasibility study. That was the biggest study in the planet that studied a real Hyperloop route for the first time. But now, I'm very proud to say something. Why I'm here? Well, I've been back and forth from India. First, I want to show you what's happening in Abu Dhabi. I have the last 2 minutes. You can see, I'm a little bit out, I know. So that's what's happening in Abu Dhabi, and then let's talk about India.
Thanks to the visionary heritage of its founding father, Abu Dhabi has bloomed to become a world-class capital of innovation. Abu Dhabi is developing initiatives to launch the 4th industrial revolution. It will produce abundant green energy and be powered by limitless mobility. At Hyperloop Transportation Technologies, we have a vision for the future of the city. We share with Abu Dhabi the same transformative mission and elite standards. We value engineering excellence, human-centered design, and a culture of open collaboration to serve our common goals, attract corporate investment, engage communities, and enhance the quality of life. In a matter of minutes, the Hyperloop will allow Emirati citizens to be here and there in every part of the unified nation, and all the high-speed connecting routes will converge towards the capital. By welcoming a full-scale Hyperloop prototype, Abu Dhabi will be the first city in the world to deliver the next breakthrough in transportation. It will inspire both engineers and visitors from around the world to experience, to learn, and to collaborate. Together with Hyperloop Transportation Technologies, Abu Dhabi will show to the planet the shortest, fastest, and greenest route to the future. Abu Dhabi, the future is prototyped here.
So that's the proposal for the Abu Dhabi government, but I'm here to actually say we've been, after meeting Modi and Nitin Gadkari, two amazing people, and I've been also traveling a lot around India to discuss route, to meet chief ministers. I've been in Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, I've been in Jharkhand, Odisha, I've been in Goa, and I've been talking about possible routes. Imagine Mumbai-Pune, instead of 2 hours and 40, being able to do it in 13 minutes. Imagine to be able to do Mumbai-Nagpur instead of 13 hours in 40 minutes. Imagine what it will be to do Mumbai-Nagpur using the other corridor and being able to do in 58. And so on. We are analyzing all the routes with different chief ministers. We have different projects on the table, 5 different projects on the table. Well, 2 of them, we are very near to announce something here in India. We are working with a team of 14 people right now that is present in India, and we are actually very soon ready to announce something amazing. You know, the other countries are very interesting for us, but India is the market where Hyperloop can really make the difference. If you have an amazing ecosystem, and making India here is not a slogan, it's really, there's a government that wants to do it. So please support us, join the team, and help us make this a reality. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you. Do we have time for questions? Oh, thank you. Okay. So, questions.
We do have time for 2 quick questions as well. So let's have you all raise your hands. Please do introduce yourselves before directing your questions.
Did I convince you now? Okay. Thank you. One there.
Hello. So, straight.
Okay.
My name is Nikhil, and being from the civil engineering background and construction project management background myself, I have 2 questions for you. One, the pictures you showed were of the problems that are lying in the last mile connectivity of the traffic and the metros. And the Hyperloop or the boring machine, the boring company still haven't considered the last mile connectivity problem.
I can't hear him, sorry. Okay, so the first one is about, I haven't heard anything, basically. The problem they're already existing on building it,
about
the civil part.
Yes, the interiors, the last mile connectivity.
Okay.
That is the inner streets and the inner roads.
Okay, so and the second one is the boring company. What is the relationship, if it's good or bad, right? Okay, so first, imagine if you're a farmer, okay? The model that we have right now is this, okay? I come to you, I want to build a road or a highway. I come to you and say, listen, give me your land. Sometimes we don't even ask, we just expropriate it, okay? In exchange, I build a giant infrastructure in the middle. You can't access in the other side. Are you happy? It gets better. You got, basically, your animals cannot migrate. You're happy? It gets better. I will give you back a little bit of money, some pollution, and a lot of noise. Now you're happy, right? Well, if you are a farmer, maybe 3 generations that is striving to actually get this land and to make it profitable, and we know how tough is this, right? You will fight me. And you will fight, you know, for your father, for your parents that has built this, okay? And they're right. So what are the problems that we have right now? It's about right acquisition. Because these people have the right to actually have their proper land. Now, imagine the other proposition, the Hyperloop proposition. We go to the same farmer and say, okay, just give me a little square. Give me 5 meters per 6, okay? Depending, of course, of the height that I need, but it's an average, okay? Yeah, at the beginning I will have to work, but I can build a pylon in 72 hours. Let's say I take your land for a month, okay? But in exchange, I will build a pylon that has a cement that can absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen. I put a structure that doesn't impede your animals to move. You can access the land because it's built on pylons. We can actually give you back the excess of electricity. I can bring you water because when you have a pipeline, you can actually build a secondary line where we can transport water, and maybe with the solar panel we build the desalinization system, because with solar panel and a pipeline you actually have it, and we can give you the excess of water for that. And also I can give you bandwidth, so you're in business with me. And the system is completely silent, so I don't pollute, I actually increase the value of your land. They call it the Hyperloop effect. In some countries where we announced, the land went up 5 times. So it's a wealth builder, it's not a distractor. And we have in mind that we have to actually respect nature, not because we are hippie, but because in the long term, it will be profitable. And that's our model. I think this is the things that has solved a lot of the problem that the other industries has. The second question about the boring company, of course, building it underground would be amazing, okay? Right now, we're a little bit far, if we have to be realistic, for a price that can actually allow us to do an entire infrastructure underground. Elon launched the boring company. It's amazing. There's several solutions to do that, but still it costs too much. Of course, when you are inside a big city like Mumbai, for example, you will have to go underground because a lot of the time you don't have the real estate. But our strategy is to actually build on top of existing right-of-way. So as much as we can, we try to build it up or above the ground because it's cheaper. Okay?
All right, so we'll take one last question.
We haven't answered anything.
My name is Dinesh. 2 questions. So first one is...
One, because there's another guy.
Okay.
One.
So 2 simple questions. The first one is,
One.
when is the Abu Dhabi project coming live? When is the Abu Dhabi project going live?
Where?
When?
When, okay. So right now we finished the feasibility study. The government has to actually authorize us to publish the amazing results. And His Highness also has to decide where and if wants to proceed in the implementation of the first line. We have proposed 6 routes, and apparently they're all good. So right now it's in the hands of the government. We hope really soon. Actually, there's a little bit of competition between several nations. You also saw Korea, where we signed last week, and tomorrow I will be there. So right now I hope that one of these governments give us the go to build actually the first full-scale line, real full-scale. You saw probably one of our competitors did another test in the middle of the desert. Well, that's amazing, but that's not full-scale. It's a small tube. We did it already last year, as you saw in the videos, but it's all good. We need 10 Hyperloop companies, and the more, the better.
Got it. Last question from my side. When are you guys listing yourself in NASDAQ?
I don't understand. Sorry.
When are you listing yourself in NASDAQ?
We're doing something better. I cannot talk about it. We are working on that, okay? There's some news coming in September. about that particular topic, will not be a listing, it will be something else.
Yeah, congratulations on this fantastic project.
It's my team. I am just a puppet.
Right. So I feel this is a wonderful concept. However, what my kind of concern is, only 7 countries have adopted this. So what about China and even in India, bullet train, India is spending huge amount of money in next 10 years on bullet trains as well. So also China has just started the one road concept, where again they would be using trains to Europe also. They have already built the line. So I am not understanding why world is taking so much time to understand. I'm sure there's a fantastic, concept, like you showed the Jetsons, they're using that. So the time has come for this project, and I'm sure it's going to be a big success. But why countries are taking time to understand it? So thanks.
So guys, you saw I'm constantly in the news trying to stop that madness, right? They call me the anti-high-speed rail. I'm not anti-high-speed rail. I think, the problem of high-speed rail is the one that I showed you. It's not efficient. It will condemn India to actually pay subsidies forever, okay? There's no way they recoup the money. So why? Why are we doing this? We have better solutions. Instead of planning to build, these giant monsters, and we will see how much taxes we have to increase now then to maintain that thing. We need to have systems that are efficient, and we need to also invert the business model. It's not me asking subsidies to the government. It's the government that has to come to me and say, how much percentage you pay to actually run the system in my country? And this is how it would be a good way. And this money should be invested in education, in hospitals, in things that we need. And I am fanatic on this because I think India can leapfrog. It doesn't have to repeat the mistakes that other countries like Japan and Europe has already done. And you have the real concrete opportunity to do it, you have to do it.
Well, on that note, we'll have to call it a wrap to the session. And I'm so sorry, sir, we're completely out of time. You can please connect with Mr. Gresta offline as well. But can we have a huge round of cheer to thank him as well? Thank you so much. I'm going to invite the Assistant Editor of Entrepreneur Media, Ms. Punita, to please come on stage and present a token of gratitude to Mr. Bibop Gresta.
It's a dance music. Hi. Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Thank you. Oh, wow. All right. Let me put this out so you have a clear picture. Okay. Badass Magazine. Read it.